Boys, what is something that you get irrationally mad about? Like something really stupid that like never fails that you just are going to get like insanely mad at, like someone just like punched your baby. Like you get so mad, but it's something really stupid. What is it for you?
This is really hard to nail down to one thing. I don't know the one thing that I want to pick. I have a lot of things where it's like I get angry at like inanimate objects for no reason because like I'm an idiot, like stuff like that. One of the first things that just came to mind for me was like, of course I'm going to football here. When a punter punts the ball out of bounds and then the ref just like pretends like he knows where it went out of bounds to mark it, I get livid. He just walks and walks. I'm like, this guy he doesn't know where the ball went out. This is complete bullshit. That makes me really mad. I yell at the TV for that.
Yeah, I thought you were just going to say the Pitt Panthers after starting in October usually. And usually a Thursday night in November every year is a good one to use. I was going to say, like, based off of very most recent experience, as you boys are, like, traffic drives me crazy. Like a little bit too, like it pushes me a little too far because I'm trying to get somewhere. And if I get caught at a red light and I feel like it's green and I got it and somebody else was going slow or I just couldn't make it, I get really, really angry. Happened on the way here. I won't lie. But it's funny you mentioned like inanimate objects too, Chris. Like it made me think that if I were to get shocked by touching a door handle, like I'll like shove the door. Like it was the door's fault that I brought in static electricity to the door handles. Yeah. So like stupid shit like that too, like really makes me angry. Too angry.
The reason I thought of this is because I hate flies. Like I get so mad when there is a fly in my house and I can't get it. Like I go full on, like I am at war with this fly to the point where now like my daughter, when she sees a fly, like she freaks out and not like gets scared of it. She's like, where's the fly? Where's the fly? And like just mocks me and then grabs something, a shoe, whatever, and then starts going like this. And like loses her mind. And I just, it's flies for me. I get so mad. And then I'm like really strategic about it. Like I'll like yell at Siobhan. I'm like, no, you can't try to get it. You can't try to get it. Cause like you'll miss. I know exactly what this fly's doing. I see his mind. I know what's going on. And like, I don't know. I get really, really mad about flies.
Dude, I'm with you there. Yeah. I track down a fly like it's trying to break in and steal stuff from my home. It's... Dude. Yeah, I don't let those things, not in my house. They don't live here. Yeah,
I have a very vivid memory of Dan chasing a moth around the lake house when we went to the lake one summer, and like he had a flip-flop in his hand and he must have missed this thing like 10 or 15 times, but he did not give up. It was the most determined and also most spastic thing I think I've probably ever seen.
It's an incredible video that, yes, will pop up every year on Time Hop when that comes up. It's, oh boy, there it is, the moth video of me. Everybody outside the glass door looking in, making you look like an idiot.
Dude, it is, flies. I get so angry. Like, not like very few things get me more angry than flies. Because I can't catch them. I can't stop them until they land on something. Usually the trash can. Bam! Done.
Yeah, I keep a stack of magazines in the living room just so it's like always ready at all times. Like, no chance. Always ready.
Well, what's up, y'all? It's Didi out here in Los Angeles. Chris and Dan are in Pittsburgh. It's the Brunch Breakdown, and we are here with a great show for you today, which is a day late, and it's my fault, but we'll talk about that later. But today on the show, we're going to be talking cover bands and cover songs. Chris will tell you about why. And we found this great video on YouTube of this mom who got caught teaching her kid how to cry on camera. She literally caught herself doing this. It's a great video. It's an awesome story. Eli and Peyton Manning's Monday Night Football, and we have a donut only pick one, which I'm very excited about as well, and what we're listening to. So, boys, let's get this show started. How we always do, with Dan telling us how we can find the Brunch Breakdown.
Thought he was going to swerve us there. I like it. Yes, of course, if you're new to the program, and if you're not, you've heard this a bunch of times before, welcome to the Brunch Breakdown. You can find this podcast anywhere you find podcasts on the internet. That includes Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, SoundCloud, Stitcher, iHeartRadio. Typically every Thursday. We got a special Friday release for you this week, but typically every Thursday. Hit follow, hit subscribe. Let those episodes come directly to you so you don't have to go searching for them each and every week. Of course, full video episodes also available on our YouTube and our Facebook pages. Same day as the audio podcast release. That's 9 a.m. West Coast time, noon Eastern, every Thursday or Friday. In this case, full video episodes, Facebook and YouTube. And of course, we're everywhere that social media exists: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Triller, verified, and TikTok. Make sure you listen to the Sounds of Brunch every Friday on Spotify. Check out the Legend Status podcast at Legend Status Pod. Anything else today, boys? I don't know. What else we got?
Anything to plug on chrisgatesfitness.com?
No, I think Dan took up all of our promo time.
Right. Yeah. I'm sorry. I would try to get it in quickly. We're short. We're out of time. Sorry. Red light's on.
Sorry, Chris. We're out of time. All right. Let's go to Brews Day. Chris, get us started, man. What are you sipping on?
Okay, I'm excited about this one today. I have a lot of tabs open and a lot of things to tell you about the beer that I'm drinking.
Okay.
The beer that I'm drinking today is from Erie Brewing Company. Okay, it's a New England style IPA, and it's called Bathroom on the Right. Okay, lot to unpack here.
You better have a lot of tabs because I can't wait to hear what this is about.
So this beer is actually named after a song that is frequently misheard or missung by people of it. Creedence, I always screw up the name. Creedence Clearwater Revival, CCR, has a song called Bad Moon Rising, where they say, there's a bad moon on the rise, right? And people often mishear that as there's a bathroom on the right. So I thought it was really funny that, and I saw this in the distributor and I was like, where do I know that from? And it turns out like I knew the misheard lyric, so I had to pick it up. And it turns out it's pretty damn good. So New England style IPAs are typically pretty hazy. I looked this one up on Erie Brewing Company's website just to see, what specifically made it unique. They said they categorize it as not very hazy. Put it into a glass. It looks pretty damn hazy.
Yeah.
But it's less bitter. It's more on the fruity side. And they described it as having notes of stone fruit, which I have never heard of. So I looked that up as well. Stone fruits are like peaches, nectarines, plums, cherries, apricots, dates, stuff like that. So it is definitely, you get more of a sweeter, fruity taste to it. But it's really good. The moment I cracked it open and took a sip, I was kind of blown away by how flavorful it is. So don't be afraid of the name of the beer, folks. Bathroom on the Right. It doesn't taste like a bathroom. Contrary, it tastes delightful, and I would highly recommend you picking one up. Cheers.
Nice.
That's amazing.
Beautiful.
That's great.
Well, boys, no alcohol for me this week because I've been crazy busy, and I'm even busy after I get done with this podcast. So I got some coffee, guys. I have my Apple Crisp Macchiato from Starbucks. Had to bring it. I talked about it last week. Had to bring it to you guys. And if you have not had this beautiful thing yet, it smells like apples as soon as they start making it in the store. I promise you. It's like, you started Daniel's order. You started it right there. It's so good. It tastes like you're drinking like hot apple cider, but it's coffee and it's incredible. And I'm telling you guys, like, this is everything for anybody who missed the show last week. It's making me enjoy fall a little bit this year.
So what do you put in it?
Nothing.
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 It's probably sweet enough as it is.
Oh,
right?
yeah, it's sweet enough it's there's no need to put anything else. More sugar would just be like, you have a problem. Yeah. And I might have a problem. I don't know. But more sugar is like, whoo, that's too much. But yeah, apple drizzles all over this thing. I watched them try to make it. They did some like weird, like Salt Bay type thing. Where I watched her do it. I was like, this isn't, I don't know what's in there, but it's amazing. So yeah, the apple crisp macchiato is keeping me awake this week.
I'm excited to try that. We gotta, the weather hasn't quite fully turned here yet where I'm going to be in the mood for that. But I'm anxiously awaiting to try it. Well, that's okay that you don't have beer this week, Dee, because I'm going to kind of do a little bit of a 2-for-1. No, I'm not drinking 2 beers, but I'm going to feature 2 beers here today. First, I'm going to go lead right in with where you left off with the fall theme. It is kind of time to get into fall beers, at least for me. And I'm going to go with one of my favorites probably ever in terms of fall beer from Platform Brewing. That's right. Out of Cleveland, Ohio, the S'mores Yammy, part of their Yammy series, which is absolutely incredible. So it's a sweet potato ale. And then that's kind of their base, the Yammy. And then they have a couple of varieties of it. And of course, the S'mores Yammy, you're going to get a little chocolate. You're going to get a little bit of graham. You're going to get a hint of vanilla. This beer is dangerously good. The worst thing about it is it comes in a 12-ounce can and not a 16, but that just means you're going to crush more of them. But you're sad when they're all gone, like I am. But they do have a Yammy variety pack if you can get your hands on it. The new variety this year is actually like a caramel apple. So, Dee, that might be speaking a little close to your coffee there. It might be in the same vicinity, same ballpark. So, absolutely love the Yammy series from Platform, the S'mores Yammy. But, gentlemen, I want to tell you about a beer that I had over the weekend. Get into this a touch later, but on a road trip down in Knoxville, Tennessee to see the Pitt Panthers beat the Tennessee Volunteers. And whilst we were there, we were in the absolute most amazing location ever, surrounded by breweries. And I discovered one of my favorite breweries of all time there in Knoxville, Tennessee. A bit surprising, mind you, but I did. It was an incredible venue. It was an old 1960s showroom, car showroom. So it kind of had like the big glass at an angle all the way around it that kind of went around the front. An amazing interior, a great, huge patio surrounding the outside. And this place wasn't busy on a Saturday night. Knoxville, wake up. What are you doing? So I think the brewery is pronounced Zul. It's X-U-L. I'm actually wearing one of their shirts right here. You kind of have the skull key kind of thing going on, some stuff on the back too. However, the beer that I had down there is one of the best beers I've ever had in my entire life. And it's called Johnny Five is Alive. And this is a pastry sour. So you might be familiar with pastry stouts. This is a pastry sour. So it's more of a dessert beer, but still sour. So this is a sour brewed with blueberry, graham cracker, vanilla, cinnamon, and peanut butter.
Whoa.
And that description alone drew me in there, and holy shit, this beer was wild. I wish I could have brought some of it home. You couldn't take it to go in any way, shape, or form. But let me tell you, I sincerely enjoyed this beer a lot. Johnny Five is Alive from Zul Brewing. They have a lot of great ones down there too. I had a Bananas Foster beer that they had as well. A bunch of other sours, had some IPAs, had a Mexican lager. 7.5 hours for Knoxville is a long trip, but for that beer and that brewery, it might be worth a trip at least once a year. So that's what I've been drinking this week.
Nice. I love listening to you talk about beer, Dan. I just do. Makes me so happy.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Too much.
Beautiful. Well, boys, cheers.
Yeah.
Double fisting Dan down there.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Right.
All right. Well, it's time to get some random topics off our chest. If you're first time listening to the show, let's get it off our chest. And I'll get it started, guys. Mine is pretty short and sweet this week. I just want to tell all the parents out there who are posting extremely dramatic videos on the internet about their kid dropping their kids off at preschool and their kids crying and then showing themselves crying or saying how hard it was. Here's a tip. When you drop your kid off at preschool, you go in, You kiss them on the forehead and you run the other way. You shut the door and you leave. There is no hugging. There is no looking back at the tears. And understand this, nobody cries more than me. No one gets more emotional than this guy right here. Nobody does. So if I didn't do that, I would have definitely been crying. Saoirse would never, ever be in preschool, ever. So my message to you guys is to kiss them on the forehead and to run out of there. Don't make eye contact. If there's a big window, which there are in a lot of preschools, parents do the little window thing. They're like, oh, hey, bye-bye. Oh, I'll miss you. Oh my God, it's going to be okay. I'll be back at 12. I'll be back at 3, blah, blah, blah. No. Get in the car, go home. Helps the kids, helps the teachers. Get out of there. Stop the dramatics with the preschool. You're welcome. Had to get that off my chest.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I haven't gotten to the preschool part, but we did. I remember vividly the first drop off at daycare, which was kind of tough. And yeah, we probably hung around way too long. We probably should have just been like, drop them off. All right,
yeah,
pick you up later.
Because like, and I know like a lot of schools, like sometimes you don't have a choice. Like schools like try to get you there. Like some places they like let you watch your kid for like an hour or something like that on the first couple days, and it's like.
The parent, you would never, my wife would never leave if you let her do that.
Yes. I would never leave. So no, just kiss them on the forehead, get the hell out of there. Like, that's it. Done.
That's terrific advice. I'm going to have to remember this episode.
Yes.
And play that back. It seems like the right thing to do. Get in the car, throw on Donda, and get the hell out.
Yes.
Right.
Get the fuck out of there.
Keep driving until the album's over. By the time the album's over, you should have forgot what you were doing.
By the time the album's over, you'll be picking her up from school.
Right. Yeah. There you go. Win for everybody.
Thank you, Kanye. Thank you.
He did this. He made that album for us. Man, Kanye's got like 4 kids. He did make that for us. Good job.
Yep. There you go.
All right, Dan, get it off your chest.
Well, boys, I just touched a little bit there on this road trip that I went on this week to see Pitt play Tennessee. And gentlemen, that game took 4 hours. 4 hours. And I'm not exaggerating. Chris, I'm sure you sat there and watched it and you realized your ass was probably hurting after a while. You needed another couch pillow or something. 4 hours of a football game on television. And the reason why is because of all of these commercials. Now, I want to preface anything I'm about to say right here and say, I work in advertising. I work in marketing. That's what I studied. That's what I do. Obviously, I love it or I wouldn't be doing it at this point. But with that being said, we're going a little too far with this right now, okay? Every chance they got, that game went to commercial. Player has a cramp, going to commercial. We got to review the play, we're going to commercial. We got a player down for an injury, we're going to commercial. We got to change a possession, we're going to commercial. We got a touchdown, we're going to commercial. That was the longest game of my life, and it almost went to overtime. I was so terrified. I was like, we're never getting out of here. We're sitting in the sun for 6 hours. But it's just too much because now everything is sponsored and sold. There's ads in music videos, right? Where yes, I understand that it helps them pay for the video. These videos are getting more expensive, so you get the sponsor to help pay for the video. But it used to be kind of subtle, right? You'd throw in a car here, they'd have Beats headphones like around their neck or something. But now it's getting like really obvious. Okay, like grossly obvious. An example, this past weekend was one of my favorite award shows that I was very excited with, actually, was the VMAs. The VMAs returned. It was great to have a crowd there again. But, I'm fine with the Coors Light stage with, we're not going to get into that. Or, this award brought to you by Doritos. Like, okay, Doritos, thanks. That's really helpful. Like, I'm fine with all that. But like blatantly shoving a car commercial down my throat during an Ed Sheeran performance, like before the performance and during the performance, is too much. I don't need it in my face that much. Okay. Advertising is great. I have a passion for it, but let's not turn the world into a European hockey jersey. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you've seen the patches everywhere. I hope our professional sports teams aren't going there, but slowly and surely. But let's not turn the world into that. Let's just have a little bit of, normalcy, and just, we don't have to sell everything. Thank you.
That's fair. It was a long game. It was a very long game. It also didn't help that they threw like 32 penalty flags during that game.
You're right.
I think Tennessee,
there was plenty of stuff during the game that slowed it down, but yeah.
Yeah. Tennessee had like 7 penalties in the first quarter or something, which was crazy.
Yeah.
It is kind of with the NFL too, like getting obnoxious where it's like now when you're watching, like we have all the commercial breaks and those are happening all the time. But then like additionally, sometimes we're having like in between plays, picture in picture deal happening where like the game is in the smaller picture and like an ad is over here. But it's just a cost of doing business, I guess, right? It's the most popular sport in our country.
Yeah. And like the picture in picture, I was hoping that was going to take some commercial time away. It's like, we'll do it in the game instead, but it doesn't seem to be doing that. It seems to just be adding to it. I heard somebody at that game say, and they think baseball's long, which I was like, okay, now we have a serious problem.
No, I am completely with you, man. Like I was watching, I'm flipping around games, and Pitt took the lead going into halftime, correct?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so they were losing, and I feel like there wasn't that much time left. And then like I turned back to the game, I turned back to what I thought would be the end of halftime. It was just a halftime show. Pitt has the lead, and I'm like, one, how are they not out of halftime? I was like, how was there this much time? I just couldn't believe that this, like, it's like, why was halftime so long? I didn't know if something happened at the game, like if there was like a torrential downpour or something like that. And that I don't know. I was like, why is this still going on? I don't know. It was a weird Saturday. There's just a lot of passing and then a lot more advertisements. We gotta one of the two's gotta go. Like, either we gotta bring back the I formation or advertising's gotta slow down. One of the two. We
need to balance. Somebody's gotta someone's gotta cut out.
Well, Dan, lucky for you, this Saturday, Pitt's not even on TV. So you will get in and out of there probably a lot quicker.
I love it.
Beauty of being a Pitt fan.
Amazing.
All right. I want to dive into my little piece here, boys. And I want this to lead us into our first topic of the day, which is cover songs. We occasionally talk about covers when we talk about what we're listening to and put them on there. And I feel like a lot of the time the returns are not very good. And we can't as a group agree that like, yeah, this was a good cover, right? I put one on the playlist strategically last week, and I put it on there without comment. And I did that because I wanted to do this today. And before I dive into my little spiel here, I want to know what your thought. It was 4 Years Strong. And shoot, what was the song title? It was
Bittersweet Symphony.
Bittersweet Symphony. That's right. I want your thoughts on that cover. Again, I'm not providing my feedback. If you love it, that's fine. If you hate it, that's fine.
It started and I was like, I'm going to try to push through. I got through it and I was like, I didn't need this. But that's how I am. But that's how I am with covers. Like I hear that start and I'm like, you must love this song. Good on you. But I hate covers, man. I just hate them.
I was going into it pessimistically, completely honest. I thought this was a song you just don't like. This could be really, really bad. The original's that good. You don't need to touch this song. But I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't hate it. Okay. I don't know if I'd use the word love, but I didn't hate it, which was really good enough for me at that point, because I was like, hey, expected to hate this thing, and I'd listen to it another time, maybe once, maybe twice.
At Chris's house.
Yeah.
Well, here's the deal. You wouldn't listen to it at my house because I thought it sucked. And that's the reason I put it on there.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Plot twist.
It sucks because 4 Years Strong is one of my favorite bands. I love that band. And I think their style of music is unique and awesome. And like the way their I guess progression as a band was weird, but they've come back to a sound that's really good. But I kind of echo Dee Dee's comments. I didn't need that. And so I wanted to talk you guys through some of my thoughts of like what makes a good cover song and then see what you guys think. So a couple of things that I came up with on my own is that cover songs need to have a slightly different energy than the actual original song. And I emphasis on slightly. Okay. Because you shouldn't completely change the sound of the song. I think like you should add some elements to it that make your band or your style of music or whatever type of artist you are kind of take ownership of the song. But like, you need to understand that people love that song. And because you're doing a cover, people are not going to decide that your version of the song was the best version of the song. That is never going to happen. So you need to like honor that song and put a slightly different twist on it. 3 don'ts that I came up with. Do not change the melody. Sometimes that happens. Nobody wants that. We want to be able to sing along to it and have the same melody throughout it.
Yes.
Don't make listeners confused. Okay. Seems pretty straightforward. And don't change the structure of the song. Okay. Don't put like a 45-second interlude in there because you think that's what the song needed. No. The song didn't need that. You're covering it because that song got wildly popular. You need to leave it alone, stick with the structure of the song and do something small that is unique to you. That's what I came up with.
Those are great points. The first one that you mentioned there about changing it, but changing it slightly. I think that's the biggest one because you do have to respect the original. But if you're like Weezer and you play Africa the exact same way, for some reason it becomes a huge song. Like, why did anybody like that? Why did anybody like that? There was nothing different about that song whatsoever. So I think it's like the extreme version of that, like doing it the exact same is also a don't. Like, don't do that. Why? Yeah. Then it's not a cover. That's not covering the song if it sounds exactly the same way. That's just playing it. And that's not doing anything. That's not being a musician. Okay. And that's what wedding bands do. Okay. That's what you should be doing.
This just in, Dan called Weezer a wedding band.
That's exactly what they are, though. They are a wedding band. They put out a whole album of covers. They played TLC's No Scrubs like a band would play No Scrubs by TLC, and everyone loved it. It was their whole thing, their whole shtick over that last cycle was being a cover band. That's what they wanted to do. It's like, all right.
Yeah. Yeah. So that song in particular makes me a bit sour. Also because it rained when they played that song, and I've been over that already. But yeah, I think respecting the original, but still making it your own without confusing fans. I agree with all your don'ts, Chris. There's like a very few, the percentage of cover songs that have a fairly drastic change that work is probably at 5%. And because the one that came to mind for me is Sound of Silence when Disturbed covered it. And how, I don't know how drastic of it that was because of that guy's, the lead singer from Disturbed, and his voice just like came out of nowhere, that all of a sudden he has this incredible vibrato and he can sing this melody instead of kind of anger it. But the melody was still the same. So it wasn't, I guess, that drastic. It still did respect the original. So I love your points. And most importantly, don't cover songs that shouldn't be covered. There should be a national off-limits list. And you should just have to stay away. You can't do it. You can't cover Whitney Houston ever. Don't cover Beyonce. Just stop it.
Maybe
Stop
we
what
should
you're
make
doing.
that list. Maybe we should make that list, like the top 10 or top 15 songs that should never be covered.
Oh my God.
I'll
Adele.
tell you what, Rolling Stone just released the top 500 songs of all time list. We should come up with the top songs that should never be covered. I bet you that would be a much easier discussion and a much easier list to make.
Yeah. God, that's like the American Idol do not touch list. Like that's how I feel when I'm like watching that show. I'm like, why are you doing this? Like why? Like who told you to sing Beyonce? What producer set you up? Like
sabotage.
God.
Yes.
But yeah, the only cover songs that I like are cover songs by like, all right, Alien Ant Farm's Smooth Criminal is actually better than Michael Jackson's Smooth Criminal. It's better.
That put that in that 5%. Yeah, because it's that different, but it's better. Yeah.
But it's like, it's just gotta be different genres. Like I don't want to hear an R&B or pop artist sing an Adele song. I don't want to hear that. No, I want to hear sing an Adele song like the Foo Fighters. Like if they want to do something, I'll give it a shot. You know what I mean? But like, I don't like when people in the same genre do the same type of music. Like do something else. Like I feel like that's for me will get my attention if I'm doing that. But it just covers. I'm like, just make new music, guys, or take a song out of left field or something. I don't know. There's another one. John Mayer has a version of EXO by Beyonce that is like as good or better than Beyonce's EXO, which is an amazing song. But like, man, it's so freaking good.
Well, I have yeah, go ahead,
Chris. I was going to say there's when you just said the whole genre thing, Didi, you make a great point. Like, I don't want to hear The Weeknd cover Michael Jackson. He's going to sound the exact same way.
Thank you. Because The Weeknd's music sounds like Michael Jackson singing in 2021. So like, yeah, I don't need to hear that.
And then you said the Foo Fighters covering like Adele. There's a band out of Italy right now whose song, it's a cover of Beggin' from, Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. And the band's called Maneskin. And it's getting a lot of play right now just because of how unique and different it is. Because it is a different genre. I should actually put one of their original songs on the playlist, which is better than Beggin'. Don't just pay attention to the covers. This band is good and on the way up, Maneskin. But yeah, something that's like such a shift, but it still can pay respect to it. That's not, an exact replica. That's what helps.
Yeah, I like all of this. I think we're onto something with putting together our list of like songs. Just don't do these songs, because that's a great point. Alien Ant Farm, like I forgot about that one, but that essentially breaks all the rules that I kind of threw out there. Like it breaks up the structure, kind of. It doesn't really. I mean, I suppose it honors the song, but it honors the song in like a really weird way. They definitely put their own spin on it, but I would say like they don't do it subtly. They do it kind of aggressively, but I love that song. And that's a really good one that I didn't think of.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I have a few, and I'll talk more about them when we do what we're listening to. I have a few that I really like that I want to throw on the playlist this week. And if you guys have any that you particularly like, we can put it on there as well. But like, yeah, in general, I think the message here is think long and hard, artists of the world, when you're thinking about doing a cover. Okay, when you're thinking about recording a cover. Right. Like Dan and I played Fall Out Boy. We didn't record that shit like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
we also played Hey Ya, which we called Hey Ska. And if you have that recording, you're not allowed to. So yeah, only for live.
That was a hit at grad parties.
It was.
Dude. But like the biggest song at your shows was Enrique Iglesias. That's my point.
Oh gosh, yeah.
That's true.
That too.
Wow,
we really did cover.
Yeah. And the crowds would go nuts. Like that was my whole point, is that like when someone does something that you're not expecting at a ska show to hear Enrique Iglesias, like that's when you're like, oh, okay, I'm perked up. And you're like, hopefully it's good. But like, I don't like when a country artist is like, oh man, I'm going to do something crazy. I'm going to cover Maren Morris. Oh, I'm going to sing this Carrie Underwood song. Like, why? 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 Like,
Yeah.
There's a billion songs out there, guys. Do better. Just do better.
I love it.
Oh, I can't wait to put this list together, though. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
That's a great idea.
Do not covers list. All right. Well, let's get into our next topic. I sent this to you guys earlier. This YouTube mom by the name of Jordan Cheyenne got caught because she posted the wrong video. So she was posting a YouTube video of her kid crying because something happened, dog dying, something. Anyways, and she's telling her kid in the video, no, you got to cry more. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. And she posted that video of her coaching him instead of the edited video to YouTube and got absolutely killed. She's deleted her accounts. And I need to know what you guys thought of. There's just a lot of things going on in that video.
This is literally one of the most disturbing videos I've ever seen in my entire life. And if you think I'm over exaggerating, you're part of the problem. And you're probably doing this too. You're right. She's like coaching up her kid who's legitimately crying because they found out the dog is sick.
Yeah.
And she's like, come on, cry more. And he's like, I am crying. Like, I don't know what she's like, cover your mouth, but look at the camera, cover your mouth, put your head on me. And when she like acts as though she's sad and then she goes to those like coaching lines, it's like, whoa, this is gross. This is absolutely gross. And she came out, and how can you apologize for that? But you're right. She said she didn't deactivate her account. She deleted it. She's never going to post on YouTube again. And she better stand by that, or we're calling her out on every episode. We'll do whatever we got to get. We'll get Doritos to sponsor it. I don't even care. The takedown, delete your account, sponsored by Doritos, brought to you by the Brunch Breakdown.
Didi, I really want to hear your thoughts on this.
Oh man. When I saw it, all I thought was like, there's a lot of things wrong with the world. It's one thing you fake in tears yourself, because I'm sure lots of people do that. But like when you're dragging your kid in to get in on this stuff, and then her apology was also like, she apologized for people seeing it and then turned it on the culture of YouTubers and stuff and said everyone does this. And I'm like, just leave everyone else out. Like you're the one who just like got caught here. Like you should be apologizing for this, but then you like apologize, but then it's like, wait, no, I'm really not sorry for doing this. This is what we do all the time. And I'm like, oh, you just can't trust anything you see. I'm like, is your dog really sick? I don't know. I'm like, yeah. Just weird. It was just a very like, it was funny because I'm like, this lady got caught because she didn't put her like, she put the wrong video up, but it's also like, that's kid's gonna be fucked up, like really messed up.
Yeah, that's like, this was like heartbreaking for me, because that kid, you can't unlearn the things that happen to you as a kid in like your formative years. You just can't, like, you're never going to be like, oh honey, you know what, like that was wrong. And you can forget that's, and that wasn't the first time that it's happened, so that's like heartbreaking for me that happens to kids. And this is like, this is a great example of why you guys have never seen me put a video or a picture of my daughter on social media, because like, I don't ever want it to be confused that like I was trying to like have a photo of me and my kid, like reflect positively on my business and I get more likes and then it like works out well for me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think enough people think about that. I really don't. I think like so many people are so self-serving with their social media accounts, and we're the generation that grew up with this stuff. So there is no past data to go on. We're the guinea pigs. We're the ones that like social media happened when we were in college, and we're the ones showing the rest of the world like how that's going to impact future generations. And so you gotta think about that. Just like, people need to be like, think a little bit beyond the 15 seconds where you hit like tweet or post and the reactions that you get, and think about like down the road. Cause this kid, I feel, like I said, my heart breaks for this kid, because you don't know the impact it's going to have on him. And I do believe what she said, like on all these social media platforms, like the stuff I see on TikTok regularly, I'm like 70% of it is fake. I promise you, 70% or more of it is fake. And I have such a hard time like taking any of it seriously. But like you just don't know how that's going to impact people moving forward. And I think it's really a shame. I feel awful for that kid. I really do.
It's like if you're a parent and the only music you play around your children is like bad covers, and that's what they think music is. And it's just cruel and unusual.
That child is
wrong.
ruined.
That's what they think that those songs are. They think that's what those songs are. And it's like, no. There's real shit out there. It's the same thing.
Dude, that was a very good analogy right there.
Yeah.
Big
on you. And there are very few alien ant farm children. Okay. There are very few. There are very few circumstances where it works out well for everybody.
Right.
Yeah. But this kid is like, listen, you can say what you want about bullying and all this other stuff. And what, I hope nothing happens to this kid, but his life at school for the next year, 2 are going to be awful.
Yeah.
So it's going to be awful. And you have to think about that when you do these things to your kid. Like, cause I remember a few years back, it might have been like 5 or 6 years ago, like a thing went viral. They put it on SportsCenter. It was like a parent like hold up a sign saying like, my kid, I took my kid's seats or something, or my kid's not here because he got like an F on his report card or whatever. And it's like a dad holding it up. And it's like that guy went viral. He's everywhere. He's on SportsCenter. He's on the Today Show. He's on all these things. And it's like, everyone knows who your dad is. Like everyone at blah, blah, blah middle school in whatever city knows that's your dad. And now you are the laughing stock. Because of that, it's like, it's like I got things taken away from me because of grades or whatever, but my dad didn't go to a concert with a sign that held it up and told everybody about it. And it's like, and this reminds me of that moment where I'm like, yeah, it's like we can get some laughs out of this, but it's like that kid, because of his parent who was like trying to get like clout or whatever, like embarrassed them. And like now your life is going to be a mess for a bit.
Yeah.
That sucks. Yeah. This was not a fun one, but Dan, that was good. Don't cover song your kids. That's like abuse.
That's right. Like, that's the lesson in all this.
Yeah. God, don't cover song your children. All right. Well, let's go to something that was either abuse or not. I don't know with you guys yet. Eli and Peyton's Monday Night Football broadcasts. I don't know if this hurt or helped or what. I don't know. But guys, what did you think of the Monday Night Football alternate with the Manning brothers?
Well, before we dive into it, I will just say that the early returns that I've seen almost unanimously have been like everybody loved it. I've seen tons of articles from different like Deadspin loved it, and I feel like Deadspin doesn't love anything. Like,
yeah.
I feel like most of the stuff I saw, people really enjoyed it.
That's what I heard the same. I honestly didn't catch a ton of it, but so I didn't know if I got enough to really fully understand or appreciate or not appreciate what they were doing. But I was surprised at how positive the reviews are from a number of different places and people and sources that really enjoyed it. Because I don't know, there had to be some haters out there. There just had to be. I think one of them's here. Actually, Daniel Dudley, why don't you go ahead and come on down?
Listen. Okay. I'm all for alternate broadcasts, right? I'm all for it. Like, I just think it's really dumb. We have all these channels, all these streaming services. It's really dumb that we're stuck with listening to Joe Tessitore and whomever else. Like, it's dumb that we have to listen to this one broadcast this one way on every channel. It's so stupid. But I didn't hate this. I just don't need Eli. Like, if it's Peyton and someone else, I'm cool with it. because when they brought someone else in, that's when it got fun. Those are all the clips that went viral when they talked to Russell Wilson, when they talked to Charles Barkley. Like those were fun because they brought someone else in, so Eli didn't have to talk. And then it was just basically Peyton and whoever else was on, because Eli's not the good one on television. Like why Eli has a show on ESPN is stupid. Like he has Eli's Places. Like I don't care where Eli goes.
Which is essentially a cover of Peyton's Places.
Yeah.
Yes. The exact show,
it's a
the
cover.
exact thing. It's Weezer doing Africa, is Eli doing Eli's Places.
I did not think that this was going to carry through the entire episode, but this is fantastic.
God, this is great. This is like me trying to make huevos rancheros, like, I don't know, at home instead of the restaurants, me doing a bad cover. It's
right.
Wow, everything. My God, I did not realize
so many things in life are just bad covers.
That's deep. That's too deep for this podcast.
It is.
We were just talking about Peyton Manning and Eli Manning, and now I'm like looking at life in a whole different light. This is, I didn't see it going in this direction, but
wow,
here we are.
Wow. That mom is the Weezer of parenting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jesus.
Right.
God. But yeah. But no, I did not hate this. I just think that you got to pair Peyton with somebody else. I don't want it to be like a broadcaster. I want it to be like another athlete, celebrity, whoever. But like, I just want it to be with somebody else because Peyton was going for it. Like all out going for it, putting helmets on, doing John Gruden impressions. Like he was going for it. And I was like, good on you, Peyton. Like you were trying, because Eli was Eli. Like, yeah.
Right. And that's just kind of how Eli is. And I don't know if it's going to take a little bit for him to warm up and get used to it, because Peyton's at least done a little bit more TV type of stuff. So I don't know, or if he's just constantly thinking in the back of his head that Eli is actually, he has a job with the Giants and he doesn't want to say anything to make anybody mad or something like that. I don't know, but Peyton's obviously
Eli has it. He does have a job with the Giants.
He does. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. He's a job in the front office with them. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. So I don't know if that's in the back of his head or something like that, or he's just, we don't often get Eli and Peyton right there next to each other to compare them. We can compare the solo performance here, not on the field, but on the screen. But when you put them, side by side, it's clearly Peyton. That's the more entertaining one and the one that we really need. So I'm hoping that Eli warms up to it a little bit more, because I kind of like the pieces that I saw. And to your point, Didi, that when they brought in the other interviews, that's what made it even better, because then it wasn't just Peyton and Eli.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was, so I'll say like my preliminary reviews were not great. Like I didn't enjoy this all that much, but I will say, as Dan said, I didn't watch a ton of it. So I probably am not qualified to give like a deep and detailed review. And I also feel like I want to give it time. Because the first show, especially with like, these guys aren't broadcasters, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What I went into it wanting, and maybe this is my issue, is that like I went into it wanting something specific. But what I went into this show wanting was like, I wanted to feel kind of like I feel when you watch the NBA on TNT. Like I wanted to feel like I was sitting on my couch with my friends, and like one of my friends knew a lot about football. And so we're like bullshitting about the game, watching it, having commentary, but like the majority of the conversation is not about X's and O's. It's more about just like what we're observing and what's fun about it. And then like occasionally that guy, Peyton, comes in and like answers one of our questions for us. Right. And like makes us understand something that we didn't understand. But like and maybe I just tuned in at the wrong parts, because I wasn't tuned in for the interviews. When I tuned in and it was Peyton and Eli, I was just getting like them trying to predict what the next play was going to be, and talking about playbooks and talking about like cover under safeties and how you're supposed to tear away and run with the slot receiver and all. And I'm like, I don't, that's not what I wanted from this. I didn't want to hear like that. Cause like, if you're watching Peyton and Eli, you're a specific type of person. You're a person that already knows like a decent amount about football, you know? So like, I don't know that. And again, maybe it's just me. I wasn't going there to nerd out. I was going there to get entertained by Peyton Manning, who's really funny in commercials and other things. And that's not what I got. But I'm, you know, again, that could have been because I tuned in at the wrong time, and maybe whole thing needs to evolve and stuff like that. I think it would be nice if they told you what times the different guests were coming on. I would tune in if they told me that. That would be nice.
Yeah. And I mean, and maybe they did that, but they probably need to do a better job at that, if anything, because it was kind of just like, oh, there's Charles. Oh, there's this person. Be cool if they're like, and we're going to be talking to this person in the second quarter. We're going to be talking to this person at this mark. I don't know. Like, it would have been cool if they did that. Because because that was like the highlights of it. Because listening to Charles Barkley tell Peyton like what NBA players would play in the NFL, like where they would be in the NFL. And he was fun. Like, Larry Bird, and he's like, I don't know where a slow 6'10" white boy would play in the NFL. I have no idea. They're like,
yeah, more of that.
Yeah, like it was just funny answers, because usually everyone's always like tight end or boring questions, but Charles was like going for it. So it was like pretty funny listening to him talk about that. So, but yeah, but who do you guys want? Who would you want to do an alternate broadcast, like other than the Brunch Breakdown? Because of course we're just waiting. Like, we pitched it.
Seriously. It on social media.
Yes.
Hit it up. Hit it up,
ready.
Peacock.
Yes.
Rice. Let's go. We're here.
We're all ready. But who would you guys want to do an alternate broadcast?
I want T.O. and Ocho Cinco. Like, I think they're entertaining.
Ooh, wow.
And I want that. And I still, to be honest with you guys, when I watch NFL games and like how now celebrations are embraced and you're allowed to do different, like, I almost always, at least once a Sunday, think about T.O. and how he was like eating popcorn and T.O.ing on the Star in Dallas, and thinking about how like the reason the NFL is the way it is in a lot of ways now is because of guys like T.O. and Chad Johnson. So I want them. I think they would be highly entertaining.
Absolutely.
That's a great one. Yeah, I like, you're right, Chris. I'm with you there, where it's got to be, I want like two people that feel like they're sitting around watching the game, having a beer or two, not showing any biases, but at least one of them really knows the game really well, that you get insight into things, but it's fun and you're not breaking down it. Like we get Tony Romo on Sundays. We don't need this on Monday nights as well.
Right.
So I think somebody like Katie Nolan and Aqib Talib would be great at this, because they're both kind of changing the game. Obviously, Aqib Talib played in the NFL. He's changing what it means to be a commentator right now. And Katie Nolan has that amazing entertainment factor, but also knows the game really well and talks to athletes and stuff like that all the time. So that's like a primo, like that's out of all my list here, that's probably the only one that's realistic. So I'm just going to start there.
Well, this one's pretty realistic. I was thinking of like how this could work, because there's so many podcasts now, like so many like athlete podcasts. Like JJ Redick has a podcast. I forget who he does it with, but just like some dude who does whatever. Like, I think that kind of chemistry is like what was missing from the Eli Peyton thing, where it's like former athlete, another person who does a podcast together, and then they're the ones that you throw in here doing that, and then you throw in whatever bells and whistles you want to throw in, but it's still just like, it feels like you're hanging out with somebody, you're watching the game, you're observing these things, you're not taking it all that seriously, and then when something does happen that's like, whoa, it's like you have Peyton Manning here, or like I said, you have JJ Redick there to tell you anything you ever could want to know about it, but he's also just, mad entertaining. That's what I was thinking. Yeah. Like something like the All the Smoke podcast with like Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. Like, that's one they always have athletes coming in. Like, that's a podcast I'm like, I would love to watch them watch anything. Like, we could watch Golden Girls episodes and I would watch them. So yeah.
Yeah, and that's a good point. I suppose T.O. and Chad Johnson would need somebody to probably direct them?
Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. I'm here for that one. Like, I don't think I need anyone else. I want to listen to them talk. Like,
but well, I mentioned the NBA on TNT crew, and like I watched Charles Barkley comment on golf at the beginning of the pandemic, and it was some of the most entertaining golf that I've ever watched. So like, why couldn't you have like Shaq and Charles talk about any sports? Why couldn't they be doing an alternate broadcast for anything? Like Didi just said, like, you know, and maybe you have an NFL player join them, but like, it doesn't have to be, I just go back to what I said. It doesn't have to be X's and O's, just like expert commentary. Cause I was like on the main feed and like Brian Greasy was trying to explain past concepts. And then I went to Peyton and Eli, and then Peyton was explaining past concepts, and it was just too much, you know? So I guess at the end of the day, I'm just like, what are the entertaining people? And let's try and rock with them.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, that's one of my people on my list, The Rock. Give me The Rock and Terry Crews. Give me two just big dudes that love the game of football, played it in college really well.
The Rock played it. Yeah.
They both know the game. They're both super entertaining. Give me The Rock and Terry Crews.
Yeah,
that's a broadcast that I want to watch. Or, so those two guys are kind of similar, right? That they both have that, again, they're both actors now, but they played the game in college at a high level. What if you get two people in the complete opposite ends of the spectrum, like Andrew Luck and Cam Newton? I would love to hear the conversations of them breaking down plays from the quarterback standpoint. I'm like, from Andrew Luck. Like,
well, Cam's looking for a job. Cam's looking for a job,
and he'd be super entertaining.
It's this broadcast or Bishop Sycamore. It's one of the other.
Right.
Yeah, whatever it is, Cam Newton has to be involved. Like, I need Cam. If you add Cam with Peyton and Eli, I want to hear what happens in that conversation.
Yeah,
like, because it would be cool to hear to have another quarterback that sees the game differently than Peyton Manning. You got to think, like, you know, Michael Vick, not the most entertaining person, but like the way that he saw the NFL and the way that Peyton Manning saw the NFL are completely different. The way Eli and Peyton see the NFL is like the exact same thing. Their dad was an NFL quarterback. They see the game the same way. It's all the same, you know? But yeah, that would be cool. I was thinking, I love Desus and Mero, their Showtime show. I love them so much, and I would love to have them do that. And but yeah, like that's my list. That's what I had. I had Desus and Mero.
What if you had different generations of it? Like, why do they have to all be NFL players? Like, book a couple college players on like an NIL thing and bring them in, and then like mix it up. And maybe that's more entertaining. And then get that Quinn Ewers kid who just signed like $1 million deal to sign autographs. He's not the starter at Ohio State. He's a millionaire. I don't know how that happened, but he's got some time. Bring him into the pot. Like, you know, I don't know. I feel like we can mix it up. It doesn't have to be all professional athletes.
Yeah. This whole thing can be fun. This can be a lot more fun. I guess that's my whole thing is like, they dabble in these broadcasts and stuff. And I think there should be more of them, but I'm like what Nickelodeon did, like where they just made a completely different broadcast that you were just like, everyone was like, oh my God. It's like, we need that. Like more people need that. Like we need more of like just different something. I don't want the same. It's like, we've been doing the same shit for a million years. We can do these things differently.
Yeah. So non-athletes, perfect. Segue right in. How about Matthew McConaughey and Justin Timberlake? Let's go. Or Justin Bieber. Either Justin. Just swap out Justin's every other week. Because Bieber, I don't know how familiar, you know, Canadian. Maybe he's got the Canadian view, Canadian rules. That'll be entertaining. All right. That's offsides. It's what? It's what? Off what? Give me that. But I got one more.
Okay.
As we wrap up this segment. Kind of an older player, both retired. Player played a little bit more recently, so they're both very highly skilled at the game. Would it be entertaining? We'll leave that up to you. How about we get the juice, OJ Simpson. Hey, Twitter. What's poppin', Twitter? And Ray Lewis, and we call it Murder Night Football. Let's go.
Good night. That's the end of the podcast.
Dun, 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 dun.
Hey, Halloween's coming up, so
Murder Night Football broadcast. Ray Lewis and OJ Simpson.
Sunday Night Football with OJ and Ray Lewis, and then the Law and Order theme plays as soon as it starts.
There you go. That's the list.
I did not see that coming.
I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready.
A lot of good ideas.
That legitimately took my breath away. That took my like.
A lot of channels out there. So
I don't know if it's because I didn't expect it, or if it's because I was terrified of it.
Like, I also want RuPaul's Drag Race is a very big show on like Bravo or whatever channel it comes on. And I'm just like, do a broadcast on there. I want to see other people talk about football. It's like, I don't know if RuPaul's a football fan. Let's find out. Andy Cohen can host it. Let's just make this thing happen. Like, we have like all these stations are like owned by like one network, basically. There's like a million stations. We all have all these channels on cable. Reason we have them is because NBC owns 20 of them. And then like ABC owns 100 of them. And you're like, that's why we have all these channels that we don't use. I'm like, let's throw the product that gets the most viewers that you spend the most money on. Let's do something creative. Let's go.
I like it.
Down. OJ. Good God. All right. Donut only. Pick one. Are we ready for this graphic, Chris?
What a transition. And I'm wondering if OJ is going to win Person of the Year again this year. Just because I feel like he's been brought up he's been brought up a lot in 2021.
OJ and Travis Barker.
There's your broadcast right there. There's your broadcast. Yeah. Travis Barker is in everything else this year. So just put him on the Monday Night Football broadcast. Why not?
I love it.
He's just in the corner. Dude, he'll be on there next week with Peyton and Eli, just playing the drums in the corner.
Right. Yeah, every commercial break they go to.
Here we go. Oh, man.
Boy.
You can only pick one donut. Guys, you want to go through this? Dan, you want to go through it?
Yeah, let's break down this bad boy. We've got 14 type of donuts here that you can only have one. First one, number one, is the often referred to as the French cruller, or the honey cruller, as it's described here in this image. Second is chocolate dip. Third is what they're calling honey dip, which the world knows that is glazed. Number 4 is old-fashioned sugar. Number 5 is sourdough. Number 6 is sprinkles. Number 7 is maple dip. Number 8,
sugar twist.
Sugar twist. Thank you. Number 9, old-fashioned plain. Number 10, chocolate eclair. Number 11, Boston cream. Number 12 is double chocolate. Number 13, apple fritter. Not a donut, by the way. And number 14 is jelly donut. So we don't cover all the bases here, but we cover quite a bit of them. So I'm interested. I'm very actually interested to hear what you guys are thinking about one donut to pick.
Well, shouts to the Knack, 107.1, 95.1, 96.7.
95.1 and 96.7 FM.
The Knack.
You guys know that I don't like donuts, so this one is going to be really interesting. Damn, that's a sign that says Chris hates donuts.
This is my prediction for your answer. Brought the whiteboard, and your answer is Chris hates donuts.
Yeah, but listen, Dan, actually, surprisingly, I have a very strong opinion that if you pick old-fashioned plain, like, I don't like donuts, but go to hell. That's ridiculous.
Yes. Shouldn't even be on this list. And if you pick it, you have a serious problem. Old-fashioned plain.
It just looks ridiculous.
Just go eat a shoe. Like, this is stupid. Like, old-fashioned plain. Who eats those? Oh, man. This is a good list. Oh, God. see, double chocolate.
Ooh. Double chocolate.
Double chocolate is the one. Because I don't like chocolate dip donuts. They make me mad. Because I feel like anytime I get one, it's like, where's the rest of the chocolate? Because I want it to be double chocolate. Because you'll ask for a chocolate donut, depending on where you are, some will give you the double chocolate if you ask for a chocolate donut, right? But then some places will give you the chocolate dip, and you're like, wait, where's the rest of my chocolate? I didn't ask for that. You know, it's a weird thing, but double chocolate I love.
Big difference between those donuts too is you have the double chocolate is a chocolate cake donut.
Yeah,
right? And then the chocolate dip is just a more traditional donut, a little bit more airy, which when you're eating, you end up getting chocolate all over your face because the donut just like kind of crumbles around your mouth like molasses. But with the cake donut and the double chocolate, it's a little cleaner there.
Just spilling out of your mouth.
Just spill it out of your mouth.
Savannah has
Savannah.
Oh, fantastic.
He lives on Sesame Street, dumbass.
Did you pick one?
No, I did not pick. I'll go next. You have a strong opinion. We'll wait to get yours. This is very difficult, but I think I'm going to go maple dip. I think it's just so unique. I like the maple because usually maple dip has bacon pieces on top of it. If you're going to a place that knows how to do donuts, I'm not making that part of it, but I think I got to go maple dip as number one, jelly filled donut as a runner up. That's a really, really good one too.
Okay. The only one I think I can pick is Boston cream, because Boston cream is my favorite cake, which I know it's called pie, but it's not pie, right? I think we can all agree on that. So I enjoy versions of that are a donut because I love that type of cake. The rest of these don't really call to me, other than sugar twist that's not a donut, and neither is, if it's called fritter, it's a fritter, and if it's called eclair, it's an eclair. These aren't donuts, so this graphic has some issues. I will send a strongly worded letter to the knack.
Yes,
completely agree with everything you just said. I want to point something out about the Boston cream donut. Is that it's only truly a Boston cream donut, and Chris, I believe this is probably the one that you're referring to, is when it's filled with custard, not filled with white icing, like basically the eclair is. Okay, oftentimes you'll see that like, oh, Boston cream, oh, cool, and it looks like that, chocolate on top, covered up, and then it's white icing in the middle. That's not a Boston cream. That's a bullshit donut. Okay, so you got to check cream. You got to check that little exterior window that you have there, a little peep inside to make sure you got a little bit of yellow tint there, that you're getting custard to get a true Boston cream donut.
I agree with you. I've also had, I've been deceived by some of those before as well, where they'll call it Boston cream and they'll put icing on top of it and say that it's a Boston. It'll be just like basically a chocolate dip with white icing on the top of it, and they'll call it Boston cream. And that's ridiculous.
Second for me would definitely be the sprinkles. Donuts with sprinkles just makes me happy. Just really makes me happy. I don't know. They just really do. I could just go with glaze here, but like, it just seems boring, you know? And I like a glazed donut, but I'm not going to say it's my favorite donut. It's just the one that you can go anywhere and get 12 glazed donuts. So like, parents are in town, real quick, stop 7-Eleven, get 12 glazed donuts. It doesn't matter where you go. You can get 12 glazed donuts literally anywhere. You can get them. So like, so it's like, I like them, but I'm not calling them my favorite. But the weird things, the fritter, the eclair, the twist, why are they here? Was that like a test to see if like somebody picked those? That means like they're an awful person, or you got to make fun of that person who picks 8, 10, or 13.
That has to be why. Those are like cover donuts, right? Those are just covers. Again, the whole thing here. Those are just covers of donuts. They're trying to sound like them and look like them. but they're not, because there's other donuts that should be on this list.
Yeah, like I love chocolate. Like the thing is, I like apple fritters. It's just not a donut, and I never even thought of it as being a donut. Like I like chocolate eclair, like cake. I don't need it to make it in breakfast form. I don't for what.
Yeah, when you get the apple pie from McDonald's, do you say this is my favorite donut?
Exactly.
Right.
I think these are like kind of like what you said, Didi. Like every interview you go on, or if you're interviewing people, you have questions that weed out the bad candidates. I feel like 8, 10, and 13, sugar twist, chocolate eclair, apple fritter. These are the ones that weed out just the dummies. That's what they're here for.
Yeah. Just to
like
provide value to the rest of them.
I remember Siobhan told me one time, this was like years ago, she was interviewing somebody, and she had gone through like a string of like bad candidates for jobs, and they were just like, why are you here? I was like, oh, you should do like a news test like they do with like news stations. She was like, okay, I'll do that. So she did something with like 5 easy pop culture questions, and someone was like, I didn't know who Kim Kardashian was. And that's it. That's 8, 10, and 13. She was like, we're done here.
8, 10, and 13.
That's 8, 10, and 13. We're done here. It's like, you want to work here and you don't know what? Okay, we're done here.
Get out of here, you fritter.
Yeah.
Thanks, sugar twist. Yikes.
God. Well, this was a fun one. Only have one donut. We'll put this chart up on Instagram and all the social medias. You can give us your thoughts at Brunch Breakdown. Now let's get into what we're listening to before we get out of here. Boys, what are you listening to this week? I'll start. I'll ask myself that question. Didi, what are you listening to? Chloe Bailey of Chloe and Hallie, her and her sister have I can't say sisters break up. I don't know. They're like, one of them shooting The Little Mermaid, and the other one's like, well, I guess I'll put out solo music. So she put out a song called Have Mercy, and Have Mercy, the video, just the video. And the song is great.
And
man,
and the VMA performance.
Oh, gee. Woo. Yeah. Hashtag Didi can't tweet. That was a good one. That's a good one. But yeah, Chloe Bailey, Have Mercy. And yes, Have Mercy. And the song is really good, but the videos and the performances, great.
Yeah. Just thinking of Uncle Jesse right there as you're watching Have Mercy. And that's what you'll be thinking. I'll go next. Glass Animals. They released a song called I Don't Want to Talk, I Just Want to Dance, kind of speaking to the pandemic and people just having inner thoughts with themselves and being on their phones constantly and not really getting out and be able to do things and just like done talking. I just want to dance. It's super catchy, kind of jammy, new single from them. If you like their hits like Heat Waves and Tangerine and Space Ghost Coast to Coast right now is still climbing up the charts. You're going to love this one. Had a chance to see these guys 2 weeks ago. Great show live, but really like this song from Glass Animals. I don't want to talk. I just want to dance.
That sounds like a quote that Dan could have said to me at any point between the ages of like 26 to 29 in the South Side. I feel like that's
true. Wonder if it was overheard and they're like, we got to write a song out of that. Did you hear that guy just said?
That's what Dan would say to girls in the South Side.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
No, I just want to dance. Like, I'm going to go jump on the speaker right now. Go talk to yourself.
Yeah. And all of those, every time he said that, he was at the Tiki Lounge.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I promised some covers. So these are the covers that I want to put on the playlist this week. Dan and Didi, I have sent you a couple videos from someone named Alex Melton. He does covers. He also does like different versions of songs. If like this song was a country song or this song was a pop punk song, all that type of stuff. He has a couple good ones that I want to put on there. He just got a Spotify account, which is really cool, but he did 2 songs if they were done by Blink-182. So it's like him if Blink-182 were to cover 1,000 Miles in 1 week. Okay. So I want to put those 2 on there because I think they're very, very well done. I want to get your feedback next week. Also, Real Big Fish did Take On Me. the song Take On Me. And I actually think Real Big Fish's version of Take On Me is better than the original Take On Me. So get your feedback there.
Okay.
And the song Kiss Me, which is featured in, is that She's All That, I think, right? With Freddie Prinze Jr., classic movie. Newfound Glory did Kiss Me years ago. And I enjoyed that one as well. So this is kind of like, I know sometimes Dan like throws like 5 or 6 at you in one little bit. So these are my covers. I'm going to throw these at you Dan style. And those will be my first few that I put on the playlist.
Beautiful. And now that song's in He's All That, which good movie, guys. It's solid.
Okay.
Like, I don't know what you expect. It's the same movie, but like, you know, different twists, you know, cell phones, but like it's pretty good. So yeah.
Cell phones.
That's
it's seriously smartphones. That's literally the difference. It's like, okay, like Instagram. All right. But it's the same movie.
I feel like any Kiss Me cover is better than the original, but that's just my thought.
There you go.
Diddy.
All right. Alessia Cara, one of my favorites. I love Alessia Cara, and she's got an album coming out next week, and she has a few singles out, and Sweet Dream is the one I want to put on the playlist. I really like it. If you like Alessia Cara, you're gonna like this jam. So check it out. Sweet Dream, Alessia Cara.
Great song. Love that pick. 2 artists that I've put on this playlist a lot in the past have teamed up, and we have Cheat Codes with All Time Low. Probably a combo we didn't expect to see coming, but they team up for a song called Ghost Story. Pretty sure either one of these groups could pair up with any artist on the planet. It'd be a terrific song. It'd be magic. And that's what this is. It's magic. You definitely have the EDM kind of dance track vibes that you typically get from Cheat Codes in this song. And then just topped off with amazing vocals from Alex from All Time Low. So Ghost Story, Cheat Codes, and All Time Low.
Nice. Band I just became familiar with called Lonely Avenue. They put out a brand new EP. It's called Strong Enough. And there's a song on there called Caffeine Dreams, which I really enjoyed. All of their music is just energetic. It's catchy. It hits really hard. They're from Sacramento. So like, if you're familiar with the pop punk scene, like that California style of pop punk, which I really tend to enjoy. It's really good stuff. So I'm going to put them on there this week.
Nice. All right. Last one. Because this album is, you know, a million songs long, you're getting through it. Some songs touch you in different ways. And, you know, weeks after it came out, Kanye, Come to Life. Whew, Come to Life is a great song. I've liked it since it came out, but I don't know. I was in the car driving and I was like, man, Come to Life is a beautiful song. So yeah, check that one out. Kanye, Come to Life.
Love it. Remy Wolf, my girl,
hey.
Remy Wolf, back on the playlist. Been quite some time since I've put her on here. She released 2 new tracks in prep of her album release, which is coming out October 15th. The album name is Juno. So she released a track called Gorilla, spelled G-U-E, G-O-R. It's another funky pop kind of genre smashing hit, and it gets me really excited for this album. She's not afraid to break the mold with anything she does, and this song rocks. So check out Gorilla from Remy Wolf. And Chris, I'm going to go on your theme, what I touched on earlier. Maneskin, let's add Beggin', the cover, and I'm going to add I Want to Be Your Slave, their original track, on there as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Alien Ant Farm, they're going on too. So
it's going to be a hell of a playlist.
Yeah.
I like it. Anytime you mention Remy Wolf, I think of Andrew WK, because didn't he have an album called The Wolf?
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always think of that. Don't know why. Well, I do know why. I just told you why, but it's strange, right? Anyway, here's a band you haven't heard from in a while. Hawthorne Heights is still making music. Were you either of you guys aware?
No, definitely not.
Neither was I, but they actually have a new album out, and they have a song called The Rain Just Follows Me, which is, I mean, pretty darn good. I enjoyed it quite a bit, listened to a little bit of the album, and the album actually surprised me with how much I liked it. I hated them growing up. I didn't know they were still making music. They still have a little bit of the uber cringy screaming in their songs, which is like why I didn't like them growing up. But this song is pretty good. So the name of the song, The Rain Just Follows Me, is the name of their album if you want to listen to the album. But let's give Hawthorne Heights a spin, because why not? It's been at least 15 years since the last time you did.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Well, that is what we're listening to. Check out the playlist on Spotify. Boys, any final thoughts on this Thursday edition of the Brunch Breakdown?
Don't be a cover.
Took the words out of my mouth. Don't be a cover in anything you do.
Good night.